What's going on? I'm doing some back-to-back recordings here. We got Mirage versus Magna again. How many videos would be too much of showcasing one deck going against other decks? Let me know down in the comments below, because I could keep going. I could keep recording other decks just so you guys could see how they fare off. For example, I would like to do Machinemon. Anyway, let me know how many of you guys think is too much before I move on to another deck. But here we got Mirage, and my thinking is Mirage will do really well against Magna for the simple reason of bouncing, and that deals with armor purge. Second reason, the Mirage Gaogamon level 6, still the best one that we got. At least that's what I think. Every time your opponent draws by an effect all turns, you gain a memory for every 4 cards in their hand. And you guys have seen how much draw power this Magnamon has with the Vmon inherits and the Wanyamon inherit, so it's just gonna basically end your turn when you attack. So that's kind of the whole strategy I'm using here with the Gaogamon going against the Magnamon, is just building up into that Mirage, moving them up, and now, okay, go ahead, swing at me. End your turn, please. Please. So here we go. Magna is now starting turn here. The Magnamon does swing, hitting a Gaomon. This is my old deck profile for the Mirage Gaogamon. I haven't added any of the Betamons that give inherit jamming. Do you need them? I don't know. I'm caught in the borderline of yes and no, because you have the... I'm having a brain fart. You have the tamer that gives your Gaomon in its name jamming anyway, and I feel like it'll take away from the searching when you search with the Gaomons and all that stuff. So still running it without the Betamons. You can run Betamons, of course, if you want for that jamming, if you're not going to run as many as the other tamer, which I can't remember his damn name. Here we go. We digivolve into the Gaogamon. This one, for every 4 cards in your opponent's hand, gets 2000 DP, I could be mistaken, but he does get blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. So now we swing into that Magna, since we have more DP than it, and activate the Thomas. This Thomas, when a Digimon attacks that has Gaogamon in its name, I think, both you and your opponent draw a card from your hand. That's very perfect for triggering all the effects of the Gaogamon line, right? Because when an effect causes your opponent to draw, they get to gain a memory, or you get to unsuspend or whatnot. And there we go. Here comes the Mirage for a 4. Now the Mirage, when you digivolve, you can bounce back a level 5 or lower. There you're thinking like, okay, why the hell didn't you bounce the Magna? 2 reasons. The Magna has draw power, which could trigger the Mirage Gaogamon, which therefore limits what they could do. Now they're left at 1. And it did unsuspend from the Gaogamon. I want to see how I was going to play, but that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, you're thinking like, yeah, dude, I would have got rid of the Magna, because now they could just go into Magna x-antibody, and now you kind of SOL. So we got 4, 8, looks like there's 9 cards in hand, leaving Mirage at 1. However, we have a memory set. Hey, we could play him. Digivolve to Gaomon in the back. Too much Gao, and whatever. Digivolve for 2. Now we do have another Gaogamon coming out in 16 that has inherit jamming. That works for Apollomon, the Galaxy deck. But it could also be teched in here because it has an inherit of jamming, and you have the Gaogamon name. Here we go. So now we're going to trigger the Mirage, being triggered from the Thomas. Gain a memory, unsuspend from the level 5 inherits. So now is the Magna gonna block or not? We have 1, 2. Gain the 2 memory. Is that what they're doing? Yep. Gain the 2 memory from the Mirage finally. Swing goes through. Mirage does survive. So now there's where a Betamon would be really handy. Because if that Mirage would have died, dude. Yeah. But it looks like they're building up a second one in the back, which is a good idea, obviously, because if that Mirage is gone, oh, we got the burst going. And there we go. So the burst happens with the Thomas, put it to your hand, and then you get to Digivolve for free. But at the end of your turn, the top card is trash, so it reverts back into the Mirage, which against this deck is good. You probably prefer that than having the MirageGaogamon Blast Mode here. This one, when he attacks, if your opponent has more than 9 cards, where is it 8? More than 9, you get to pick random cards in their hand. So they could have 8, bottom deck them, and then he unsuspends. Such a nasty card because it's an effect that you could keep using, especially if you have Thomases or cards that help you make your opponent gain memory. Now that was an initial swing again there, the Magnamon does get hit, and now that Thomas being played earlier, when your opponent has 8 cards or more in their hand, you get to suspend that Tamer to unsuspend a Digimon with Gao in its name. And playing that mental training, getting a card from there, leaving Magna at 1, and now the Magna Blast Mode or Burst Mode does get trashed, leaving that Mirage there, which I said I think that's just much better to have, because now when they attack, you're going to trigger all turns like right there. Perfect example. Swing, draw 1. At that point, the Magna player has to be thinking like, okay, my thinking is, if you're attacking and you know you're going to lose memory or gain memory, you're either searching for something you want to draw. You also do have the blue memory boost, so you get the memory back. And that's exactly what it did. Digivolve for 5, leave the opponent at 2. Now we have a 15,000 blocker with no effects. He's protected, basically. My voice is kind of giving out. This is the second video I'm recording back to back. But now how... They're just... I don't know. I think it's too late for the Magna player at this point. Digivolve for 1, since we did the mental. Now this Magna, if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, their attack target cannot be switched. Mirage comes in, a card gets bounced since no card was bounced to the hand. Gain memory from both MirageGaogomons. There's 1, 2 memory, so now we're getting 2 per each. That's 4 in total. Not to mention any of the inherits. I think we have none on that. 1. Okay. And now we get to swing. Now we're going to see the attempt to block here. But like I said, and the reason this works is because this effect isn't affecting Magnamon. Therefore, you can't block it. It's kind of like Raid, right? Raid with Mother, or Raid with Magna. If, you know, no effects affected, but it's more of a mechanic. Although I guess that would be an effect. Would Magnamon be able to stop that attack? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm gonna stick to no, he can't, because that effect isn't targeting Magnamon. And yeah, interesting. So now Magnamon is starting off with the whiteboard, 2 jamming Vmons already, and the Vmon in the back. Digivolving to that Gaomon. That one jumps, yep. Does bounce a level 3 back to the hand. Nikolai, damn it, that's his name, Nikolai. I should remember that. It's like Call of Duty, Nikolai. Now we have jamming from the Nikolai. Draw 1 from the Wanya. Heaven's Judgment. Oh, at that point, jamming didn't even matter. But now it sucks because now you kind of have nothing but a Tamer. Drop another Tamer, draw 1. But they're not a memory set Tamer. Drop mental training. Search, search, search. Get that Mirage. That's the key against this deck, as you've seen from the first one. Just need to build up into that Mirage and just be able to not let it die. Because the Heaven's Judgment, there's another Nikolai. Because the Heaven's Judgment would... Yeah, Heaven's Judgment would get rid of Mirage. Mirage has no protection. One of the weaknesses of the Mirage, of course, just like a lot of kind of building up decks, besides the War Greymon and Metal Garurumon, because they just have protection. But like Gallamon has no protection. Tyrannomon, I don't think he has protection. All those kind of like tier 2-ish, 3-ish. Although this MirageGaogamon is still, I think, tier 1. Drops that Gaomon, search, unsuspend that jamming Vmon. Still a Magnamon there. And now here's where the Magnamon players should take advantage of the attacking and drawing, because you're not going to get punished for drawing. But instead, do drop a Davis, reveal some cards. I'm assuming that starter deck. Yep, there it is. That starter deck Magnamon does get picked up. Now you got a memory set tamer. But I don't know. Mirage side of the field does look a little scary. Now both Gaomons have jamming. Use mental training. So now we're gonna digi-battle for free into the Gaomon. This Gaomon, when you attack, if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, you get to gain memory. Digi-battle into the other one. Now the Vmon goes back to the hand. And since that happened, you trigger Nikolai when an effect adds... Oh, Jesus. When an effect adds a card to your opponent's hand, you get to suspend and gain memory, so there's 2. Zudomon gets to bounce that Magna. That Magnamon still activates because it says when it would leave play. So now it's resolving its effect, drawing a card from the deck, playing a Vmon from the hand or sources. Zudomon gets a memory from the Gaomon's inherit. Swing, get another memory there. Draw. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's more than 8. So now we go back to 1 memory. It's another good way to, I guess, not really. It doesn't say Floodgate cards against the Mirage like the memory blockers, but you see how easy they just bounce level 3s, like right there. Oh, I thought that was Heaven's Judgment for a second. Awakening, there's no Magnamons in the trash, but that does go to the hand. And now we're gonna see that Mirage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Its effect does bounce a card from security since no Digimon was bounced. Now we have 4, 8, should be, oh my goodness, 12, 13. Came through. Oh, Thomas suspends, unsuspending the Mirage, and now Mirage swings with jamming, hitting a blue mem, and then just dropping the Gao casually, like, okay, here we go. What can the Magna player do here? Even if you get the x-antibody out, okay, yep, get rid of the body there. Ooh, Zudomon Ace does leave the field, so now you gain 3 memory. Oh, that's nuts. So now you just digi-battle for free and gain memory. Oh, here it comes. Oh my. Oh wow. Magna X comes in for 3. Now you can't reduce his deep. I mean, you can't do anything to it. Oh. See. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say you could swing at both, but he would need to swing at security to remove a card and then unsuspend. Yeah, so he wouldn't have been able to pop both Digimon. It's just the downside, giving Gaomon all that memory. So now we're gonna see a little hybrid action to a Lunamon. Is it Lunamon? Yeah. Or Lanamon. Lanamon. That Lanamon, you tuck in a level 3 underneath and it gains jamming for the turn. Not that it matters, you gotta block. Oh goodness. And here we see that MirageGaogamon, if your opponent has 8 or more cards, cannot be blocked, and therefore GG's.